There's three things in the news. The other one is our good old friend COVID. Next thing after the border is COVID. This is what I'll just say in reference to what I said yesterday. I listened to a report this morning that said they were talking about the variants and what's coming up with the variants. There have already been, since COVID's been detected, over 1,000 different variants detected. How many have risen to the forefront? Like 3 or 4, but they have had 1,000. And that's what I would say it's more than 1,000. I would say there's as many different variants as there are people that have had COVID. They're probably different in every single human being.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to happen. How about this? Dr. Drew went on Twitter, said the CDC reported today that 28.4% of the black community have received, dang it, I keep clicking this stupid thing, have received the COVID vaccine, with states like California and New York mandating vaccine passports to enter restaurants and businesses. The black community would be most affected by this modern day segregation.
Absolutely. He's right.
Man, look, that's bullshit.
What do you mean?
I'm not getting the vaccine. You're not getting the vaccine. It's nothing to do with black or white. It has everything to do
But
with willingness
we won't be
to go get it.
We won't be able to go in, but in terms of how it affects
No,
individually,
you can go get a vaccine, regardless of who you are right now in America, white, black, Asian, Latino. You could be an alien. They will shoot that shit into your body gladly. They'll give you not one shot. They'll hit you 2 times with that motherfucker. They coming for you, man. There is no way. Now, look, if you're saying only 28%, maybe that's because they don't fucking want it. Well, and then you're going to say, oh, well, it's segregation. It's not segregation, because if I don't have it, I'm not going. Look, Michael Chandler's not going to fight in New York because Michael Chandler's not getting the vaccine.
Some people.
It's not segregation. That's race baiting. It's bullshit.
No, I would agree with what he's saying, and I'll tell you why. Because as easy as it might sound for some people to go and get the vaccine, that's not the case for every single individual. Not everybody lives under the same set of circumstances. Certainly not everybody lives under the same sort of circumstances that you have, even though things are difficult.
Okay.
I can say this. I've spent a tremendous amount of time in my life around, I worked with a football league one time where the majority of my players, I had to drive around into where they lived and pick them up and bring them to games. And I can tell you that occasionally I would have to go inside the house. And what I saw, no differently than what you're talking about with this North Korean woman, would be shocking to any person that lived in America thinking of what they're seeing. I'm talking about walking into a home where 20 to 30 people are living inside of a house with nothing. There's no power. There's no nothing.
We're not talking about them just being able to live their life. We're talking about requiring it to go into restaurants and businesses. If you are going to a restaurant and a business,
think people that live a life like that are going to trust what the government tells them to put inside their body?
But that's not segregating. That's not segregating black people. That's segregating anyone who's in a impoverished situation.
Well, I would say
it frustrates me to read it because it's not race oriented.
But it disproportionately affects different races, and
I want to see the other statistics. I want to see what percentage of the white community, the Hispanic community, the Asian community.
They have those statistics. You can look them up.
Where
you can find them. You can, just like you find anything else.
You know where it's not? It's not in that tweet.
It's not in that tweet because
shit.
Well, but the point that he's trying to make in making that is that community that we can't pretend to understand because we're not a part of. All I can do is observe what I've observed. And even in that time, I was going through difficult things myself. But I realized that I didn't even understand what difficult circumstances were. And these guys weren't complaining about the way they lived. That's how they lived. And that's what they were used to. And they knew nothing else.
Look at that picture.
What is that?
This says nearly 500 COVID cases reported in people who crowded Milwaukee Bucks Deer District during NBA playoffs.
Yeah,
how many people do you think are in that picture?
10,000?
10,000 people?
Maybe. I don't know.
Let's just say it's 5,000 people.
All right.
Right? 500 out of 5,000. Right? COVID, the most dangerous, spreadable, human murdering disease there is, right? Out of all those people, 500 cases?
10%.
500 cases. That's it. 10% of those people who are freaking face to face
Outside.
outside. I don't give a shit they're outside or not.
Apparently, it makes a difference.
Apparently, it makes a difference. How many of them wore their masks? I bet you fucking zero.
Nobody. I'm sure nobody was wearing masks.
You can't look at that. Tell, oh, well, there's 500 cases. Okay, well, that's not enough. How many people died? Zero.
I don't know.
Zero.
Hey, man,
Zero died.
I'm not
I'm just
pro
throwing this at you.
COVID.
All right, now.